I promised myself I was going to approach this strange woman at the Raleigh hotel in the middle of the day who was sitting by the pool, who was sitting there with another woman and another guy. And without the benefit of alcohol, it's not easy to open, a conversation with a strange woman. And I walked out to get my car and I said, I promised myself I was going to speak to her. I was very drawn to her, beautiful woman. So I went back in, I just rolled right up and I said, hi, I'm Scott. Where are you guys from? And this was at the Raleigh hotel. Long story short, 18 months later, our first son's middle name is Raleigh. And what I tell people is that unless you're willing to take an uncomfortable risk, nothing wonderful is ever going to happen to you. I mean, a really uncomfortable risk. What you're doing here is an uncomfortable risk. It's public failure if it doesn't work. This podcast platform you're starting, most people aren't willing to take these risks. And a lot of this, not to get existential, a lot of this comes down to a huge unlock for me has been atheism. I think I have a very solid grasp of the finite nature of life. You're a young man, you're going to be my age in an instant. And the thing you're going to recognize is that, okay, in 30 or 40 years, everyone whose opinion you are worried about is going to be dead. And I have found that has been an enormous unlock for me, knowing that I'm going to, at some point sooner than I'd like, look into my kids' eyes and know our relationship is coming to an end. So I'm comfortable expressing my emotions. I'm comfortable taking uncomfortable risks, knowing that if I call someone and ask them to invest, if I approach a strange woman in a bar and introduce myself, if I call an employee who I would never think would consider working for me, I'm not afraid of rejection, because I realize everyone I'm worried about being shamed by is going to be dead soon, and so am I. And so why wouldn't you live out life? Why wouldn't you live out loud? Why wouldn't you squeeze so much juice from this lemon called life? Because the reality, Steve, is that most people are not willing to take uncomfortable risks that might result in public shaming. It's embarrassing to express interest in someone and be sort of rejected. It's embarrassing to try and raise money and be rejected. It's embarrassing to start a business and not have it work. The majority of people aren't willing to take those uncomfortable risks. And the reason why you get outsized return as an entrepreneur, the reason why you get outsized returns when you're willing to approach strangers and ask for mentorship, friendship, express romantic interest, is because you are willing to endure rejection. The most overcompensated people in any organization are the salespeople, because they are willing to get out a big spoon and eat shit. Do not call me again. Okay, so what you're saying is I should follow up in a couple of weeks, right? That type of rejection, that type of risk, that type of public failure, 99% of people are not willing to endure. I ran for sophomore, junior, and senior class president in high school. I lost all 3 times. And based on my track record, I decided I should run for student body president, where I went on to, wait for it, lose. And it never really got in the way of my confidence. And that's the key. And unfortunately, young men are told, don't try hard. I feel like their agency's been taken away. They feel like the game is rigged, so they're not trying. And quite frankly, they're spending too much time on a screen or in their home, so they're not putting themselves in a position to have something wonderful happen to them. And on a very basic level, I'm almost entirely sure that I can guarantee you that nothing really wonderful is going to happen to you inside of your home on a screen. Your success is a function of your ability to endure rejection, and increasingly how much time you spend outside of your house off a screen.